Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Baby Making Genius program. We're in lesson number 1, your vision, your purpose, and a life assessment. My name's Karen Stillman, and it's my pleasure to guide you through this 12-week process. And this first week, we're just going to notice that when we dream, we may get disconnected from it. Sometimes we see it more like a fantasy or wishful thinking, something that may never come true. Imagine that if by shifting our thinking, we can connect more deeply to our dream and then begin to accept the new thoughts and ideas as truth, not just a possibility, but turning them into predictabilities. Consider how different your life would be if you truly believed and lived out or lived from your dream. And it is the inspiration of our dream that we put our energy into, and so that we can become aligned with our purpose and our core values. Jeffrey Avert said, "The most important thing about having a goal is simply having one. The same goes for your dream." You must first establish your dream, establish if it is good for you before you can manifest or even create it into your reality. And that's what we're going to talk about this week. First, did you know that everything was first a thought before it became a thing? We're going to go in more deeply in another lesson later on about the energy, the physics of what's going on. But just know that anything that you think about, you can create. Everything was first a thought before it was a thing. For example, someone invented the chair. They thought and created up the idea of a chair. Later, it became a rocking chair. After that, they put 2 chairs together and created a love seat. And in my world, they took part out of the seat away and created the birthing chair. All sorts of ideas. Everything comes in the mind. It is first created there before it becomes a thing. And know that there are 2 energies that are necessary. They're essential for you to be able to have that dream. And the first one is there's something that you long for. There's something that you have a deep desire for, and ideally it becomes a burning desire. And the second one is the pain, the discontent that you're feeling because you haven't yet achieved it. So with your longing and your discontent, you're going to create the vision of what you would love. You're going to use positive terms. So even though you notice your discontent, you're not going to lean into and pitch a tent there. You're just going to be aware of it and notice it, and then turn that around so that you can, when you're leaning into your vision, that you can come from a place of a high vibration, of feeling expansive and feeling wonderful, that you're not feeling constricted and downcast. We want to feel that imaginary amazement, that just delight of the life that we would love to have, that we are going to create. Because as you breathe over the next 365 days, you will create 1 year of your life. You don't get to not create. You absolutely do create. And it's whether or not you will create it by default, by the status quo, following the same footsteps, kind of like living that same year 99 times, or are you going to live a full and vibrant life of 90 years? Because you're going to create what it is that you love. I would recommend you create what you would love. So first, let's look at 4 areas of our life. They're defined here, that there's a spiral of life moving forward and up. And in that spiral of life, just like our DNA is a spiral, we have 4 areas of our life. One is our health and well-being. The next is our vocation. We have relationships and time and money freedom. We're might focusing on the health and well-being if this is an area where you have your most discontent, where you haven't had the success, so that you can create and have the baby that you would love. So if you have pen and paper, we're going to jot down some notes, and we're going to take an assessment, a life assessment. You're going to tell me, well, tell yourself, where you are on your satisfaction scale. How fulfilled are you in your life on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 is not being very fulfilled at all. 5 is that you are very fulfilled. This area is rocking. You're very satisfied with this. So just some general questions about who you are as a person. So are you a person who doesn't even know what your dream is, or that you're even really too afraid to put it into words. You might be a person who has lots of dreams and you're not sure which one to choose or if you can create them all at once. You might be a person who's afraid that if you focus on one dream, you'll be letting other dreams slip away. And you might be a person who knows your dream and you're passionate about it, but you aren't having the results that you would love to have. And you could be a person who thinks you've tried everything and find that none of it seems to be working.